Not every city in the UK is friendly and affordable for immigrants. And after living here for 24 years, I can tell you that where you live can make or break your experience. Some places welcome you with open arms, while others can feel like a nightmare. In this video, I am going to share the best and worst places in the UK for immigrants to live based on real life experience. We'll look at cost of living opportunities. Whether you are planning to live here or you have just arrived, don't know where to settle, this guide can save you from making a big mistake. Stay tuned because some of the places on this list will shock you. Good afternoon. This is the platform where you will hear the latest updates about immigrant lived experiences in the UK. We share these stories to inform and educate our audience. Frank is my name. For those seeing my face for the first time, thank you so much for all those who have been tuning in to watch our program. Let's dive into the story because this is going to be loaded. One of the most expensive and least expensive place for immigrants to live in the UK based on my 24 years experience of living in the UK: Aberdeen, Glasgow, Newcastle, Liverpool, and Belfast. These 5 places are the least expensive places in the UK for immigrants to live. These places are places where the cost of living is still very, very cheap. The average price of those that want to buy properties in Aberdeen, Glasgow, Newcastle, Liverpool, and Belfast, the average price of buying a house in these places is between £137,000 to 167. That is for a 2 to 3 bedroom house for those that want to buy. And we'll come to those that want to rent shortly. For those that want to rent, Hull in the north of England, Stoke-on-Trent, Bradford, Derby, and Liverpool. These are the cheapest places for immigrants to rent houses. And for those that want to buy houses, I can tell you that London, Cambridge, Oxford, Bournemouth, Bristol, the average price of houses in these places varies between £516,000 for a 3-bedroom to £337. The worst place for immigrants to live in the UK is London. If you're somebody that is just starting now and you're just moving or you're planning to move to the UK, the worst place that you can start is London. The average price of renting a house in London, for those that are just coming out, you're looking at over £1,400. That is the average price. And the saddest part is that if you are working as an unskilled worker, maybe you're working in the care sector, the same amount that you will earn in London, that is the same amount that you will earn in Newcastle, Scotland, Manchester. Instead of you staying in London where 95% of the money that you earn goes for your rent, you're wasting your time if you are an immigrant living in London. The gap between the north and south of England in terms of opportunity, where you stay, will decide the kind of opportunities that you will have access to in the UK. I speak from a personal experience because I have lived in the north and south of this country, and I can tell you that the opportunities are not the same in this country. Newcastle up north, you're likely to live in it's cheaper for you to live up north. And let me tell you something. If you're living in London now, you'll say, oh, if I move up north, what is life like? The same houses that you have, the same NHS that you have in London, that is the same NHS that you have up north in Newcastle. Why are you then wasting your time living in London where all your wage is going to go for your house rent? By the time you finish paying your rent, you haven't got anything left. London is a very good place for those that came many years ago. I am telling you places that where you can buy a house, because we are not going to, if you're renting, you're not going to become rich by renting house. You need to look at places where you move to. In 3, 4, 5 years time, you will be able to buy a house. Up north, the further you go up north, Hull is becoming a more attractive place for a lot of immigrants. Let me know in the comment section whether you have any places that you think that you've had good experience, that you think that immigrant needs to be looking at. People have talked about things like Manchester is becoming overcrowded. In the past, Manchester is still a fantastic place to live. The cost of living in Manchester has gone up through the roof. I was speaking to a friend that just bought a 3-bedroom house in Oldham in Manchester. Back in the days, to rent a 3-bedroom house in Oldham, you're looking at 900. But now, because a lot of people are moving lately, to rent a 3-bedroom house in Oldham in Manchester right now, you're looking at 1,300 for a 3-bedroom house. So Manchester is becoming overpriced, but you can still live outside of Manchester. Liverpool is one of the cheapest places that you can live in England. It's a place where, in terms of renting, you're looking at just under £800 for you to rent a 3-bedroom house in Liverpool. You're looking at under £800. Derby in the Midland is another fantastic place. Someone reached out to me a few days ago and was asking me about Bradford. Bradford, for me, is not a nice place. I'm sorry to say, if you live in Bradford, I don't mean to offend you. Bradford is not a nice place, but you can work in Bradford and live outside of Bradford. You can live in Leeds, you can live around Leeds and its surrounding area, and you work in Bradford. The transport system in those areas is not that bad. So where you live in the UK will determine the access to the opportunities that you have. The southern part of England has more opportunity. You're looking at the southern part, the southeast of England has more opportunity, but the cost of living in the southern part of England is more expensive. If you are not doing a skilled professional job where you're earning good money, you're living in the south of England, you are wasting your time, because you're going to use all the money that you earn to pay for your rent. And by the time you pay for rent, you have not got anything to look out for. So for me, the best places to live in England right now, you're looking at the northern part of England. For me, those are the best places to live. You're looking around Newcastle, Manchester, Hull, and Lancaster. All those places, they're becoming affordable, cheaper to live in. Bradford, outside Bradford, it's good, but inside Bradford, I would say stay out of inside Bradford, because it's a bit rough and there are lack of job opportunities in those areas. So Manchester, Glasgow, Belfast is another very, very cheap place to live. Life is very cheap in Belfast. And let me tell you something that you might not know. If you are working in the care sector, or you're working as a support worker, and you are living in London area, my brother, my sister, you are wasting your time. By the time you pay your 1,300 or 1,400, there is no money left. If you are on sponsorship, where your options are limited, you can stay down south. Once you pass immigration control, then you move up north. The further you move up north is better for you. Let me give you one quick example. When I was in university in Teesside, Middlesbrough, I was paying £425 for a 3-bedroom house. I have 2 people that rented 2 rooms in the 3-bedroom house. They were the ones that were paying the rent, because by the time they paid the rent, I would just add my £50 to it. The rent is paid. Those are the kind of opportunities that you will get if you live outside London. If you live inside London, I'd say this is one of the worst places for somebody who is just starting. Not for people that came many years ago that their property has gone up. You have to look at places in the UK where you will move to in 3, 4, 5 years' time. You will be able to buy your own house, because that is how you become rich. You're not going to become rich by working, and paying someone else's mortgage. So if you're thinking about where to go, you need to look at places where you move to, where in 2, 3, 4 years' time, you will be able to buy your own house, and you will be able to settle with your family, you don't have to worry. So I'm just going to run the places again. The least expensive cities in England is Hull, Stoke-on-Trent, Bradford, Derby, and Liverpool. Those are the least expensive places in England. The most expensive places to rent in England: London, Bristol, Hull, Brighton, Reading, Edinburgh. The average price of renting a house in these cities, you're looking at London over £2,080, and you're looking at Bristol is over 1,000, almost 1,800. Brighton 1,800, Reading 1,400, Edinburgh you're looking at over 1,400. The least expensive cities to buy a house as an immigrant, you're looking at Aberdeen, Glasgow, Newcastle, Liverpool, Belfast. The average price of a 3-bedroom house in these places is between 137,000 to 167. 137,000 is not going to buy you a toilet in London, not to talk of a house. The most expensive places for immigrants to buy a house, you're looking at London, Cambridge, Oxford, Bournemouth, and Bristol. The average price in these places, you're looking at over £500,000 to £327,000. And the schools in the north, the schools is very, very good. So don't think that the services that you think that you enjoy in London is the same with somebody in Newcastle. Don't let anybody deceive you. The NHS, the GP, in fact, when you live outside London, the services is even better because London is overcrowded. To get a doctor's appointment in London is a nightmare. It's overcrowded. People are rude and people don't have time. There's no sense of community in London. So the best place is the further you live outside, the better for you. London is a good option if you are in. Yes, like I said before, if you have lived in the UK for many years, you came in, you bought a house, London is fantastic. If you're earning above £100,000, London is okay. £100,000 is not a lot of money these days. If you're earning above £100,000, by the time you pay your taxes, you probably end up taking like maybe less than £6,000 home. That is not a lot of money to live in London. So these are the things that you need to be aware of. For somebody who is just starting today, or you're planning to move to the UK, or you're coming as a student, go far. The further you live outside London, up north, Newcastle, Manchester, Bolton, these places are better. Manchester is becoming overcrowded now. So you need to move outskirts of Manchester. There are still cheap places where you'll be able to buy cheap houses and you'll be able to rent. Do not live in London if you are just starting or you are working as an unskilled worker, maybe working in the care sector. London will eat up all your salary and you will have nothing to show for your many years of living in the UK because you're just paying rent. That is all you do. So consider Scotland, consider Northern Ireland. Wales is one of the most friendliest places to live in the UK. That's another thing that you need to consider. Cardiff is very friendly and it's nice as well. So look at all these places. Stay away from London if you're just starting because it's more expensive and it's overcrowded. And the services to get a doctor's appointment in London is a nightmare. Share this video with anyone that you know who is planning to move to the UK, or anyone who recently moved to the UK, because this information is vital. Where you live will make or break you in terms of access to opportunities